What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Scarlet and Great. Thank you so much for joining us today. Buckeye fans, we are going to talk the offensive side of Buckeye football and take a look at the roster, the offensive roster, previewing 2021, going into the 2021 season, who we think looks to start, and what that means for your Ohio State Buckeyes and how they will do this season. Spoiler alert, I think you're going to like what you hear. As always, we ask that you please subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 2,500 subscribers by September 2nd, Thursday night against Minnesota when the season kicks off. We'd love to have 2,500 subscribers. Cory and I will be there in a suite. Thank you to one of our gracious listeners in Minnesota, celebrating the Buckeye season and Cory's birthday. I think it'll be an awesome time, but we'll be checking the phone to see if you got us there to 2,500 subscribers. And speaking of you-know-who, let's go ahead and bring in the Slim Reaper, Florida Cory. Thank you so much for joining us and talking Buckeye football. Looks to be a track meet in 2021, my friend.
Ton of speed on this team, ton of youth. Got to enjoy it, man. And this is the golden era of Ohio State football, if I've ever seen one. Extremely excited, man.
I am too. And Cory, you know, any offense kind of starts with the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say if there was some people may be nervous and they say, how can you say it's a track meet because we're breaking in a new quarterback? And if the guy who takes the snap every time isn't that great, doesn't matter how good the rest of the roster is, right? We saw it with Georgia and quarterback struggles. We've seen Wisconsin have some offensive struggles before the quarterback situation. Even at Ohio State, brand new JT Barrett, you've seen other times when the roster would struggle. I know you were not a Craig Krenzel fan because you don't like national championships.
It's true. I don't.
Maybe a Todd Beckman, right?
That was Joe Bowserman. That was all about Joe.
No, Bowserman, but I mean, maybe a Beckman didn't get every drop out of the offense because you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I'd maintain that our skill level was not even close.
It wasn't. Yeah, wasn't. It's not like it is today. No. But anyways, whoever starts out of these 3.5 players that look to take a dive at the starting job, I think will be very good. I don't think they'll be Justin Fields.
Mm-mm.
I don't think they'll be Justin Fields 2020. But I think something like 2019 where you saw slowly break him in, let him run the ball a lot, or let the offense run the ball a lot, throw in spots, but the offense won't be handcuffed no matter who's the starter, no matter who, because whoever starts, that means they were good enough to hold the other guys off, whether it be Jack Miller, CJ Stroud, Kyle McCoord, or the unthinkable and Quinn Ewers. That means that they were so dang good you had to hold those other killers off. So the offense doesn't look to be just held back by quarterback play this year.
No, in fact, in my opinion, if Kyle McCoord is playing on the level of CJ Stroud and Jack Miller, I would start Kyle McCoord. But if he's not quite ready to go, then that is what it is, and you go with who you feel is better between CJ and Jack. I don't even care who they start. I have no preference. It doesn't matter to me. I think CJ will start. I'm pretty sure CJ will start, but just doesn't matter to me. I mean, there's so much talent around these guys. You couldn't ask for a new quarterback to walk into a better situation. And on top of that, we have one of the best offensive minds and quarterback-friendly gurus and head coach Ryan Day. So not even worried about the quarterback spot. And it's really rare to be that way at Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people – Ryan Day will be second guessed more than a husband choosing anything in a house in front of his wife, right?
Yeah.
This year with whoever gosh, I hope the first throw from scrimmage isn't an interception because boy, will they give him, like I said, the holy grail GIF.
JT versus Iowa type. Yeah, where it just goes
he
back.
chose poorly. Oh, where's yours at? So I don't think it'll go like that. Whoever is opposite of you, deep in my heart, I have a preference of what person I want to see start. But as a just athlete and player, I'm with you. No preference. Whoever Ryan picks, I think is the obvious choice. And, worst case, he gets it wrong for the first half a football, and the next guy up is probably pretty dang good. So moving on, though, from the quarterback, you spend all day there. Let's talk. It all starts, right? Everything of the offense. If you don't have time to throw and you don't have time to run, it doesn't really matter. The O-line. This O-line, I think, is going to be circa 2019 type of O-line when it
so
comes
much talent.
and skill level. And they were just road graders in the run game. And as you always say, the bookend tackles that you return, it's a great problem. Not a problem. It's just a great blessing to have right now.
Yeah, and you need that for a new quarterback. I mean, why you have two guys you can absolutely count on to protect the blind side and the other side for the quarterback and give him time on the edge, off the edges. And you're going to need that when you come up against some good edge rushers in Oregon in week 2. And so it's good that we have two guys that are All-American worthy, and Petit Frere and Munford. And I know there's some reports out there where Petit Frere's playing left tackle and Munford's playing guard. And I have no doubt that they're doing things like this, but I just cannot see. That's just early in camp type stuff. They're just playing around with some things. I can't possibly see a situation where Ryan Day says, you know what really worked last year was our offensive tackles. Let's go ahead and change that up with a new quarterback. I just can't see that.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. What you just said is great. Yeah. What's going on in spring ball and what goes on the first few days of camp is by no means gospel, right, of what's going to happen actually on the field, especially when it's like you said, you have great tackles. Let's move them.
Yeah, let's play around with that. But then you got, Harry Miller probably locked in at center, which is his more natural position, and I think he'll do better this year. The COVID year really messed with everybody. And as you brought up to me privately, he had a little bit of a shoulder injury as well. That probably hampered him. And then you got Paris Johnson, a 5-star otherworldly guy, probably future left tackle, playing right guard, filling in for Wyatt Davis's spot. And then, of course, what do you got to choose from for left guard? Josh Fryer, upcoming redshirt freshman who looks really good. You got DeJuan Jones. If they're trying him at right tackle, he can definitely play guard. If you also got Enoch Miavia-Mahi, he looks really good. Got Matt Jones, who's the number 1 center coming out of the country. And another number 1 center coming out of high school and in the country was Luke Whippler, who's also competing for that spot. You got 5 guys you choose from, and there's definitely going to be at least 1 or 2 that can fill that spot.
And that speaks well for goal line packages, right? And special teams.
And the depth of the O-line, to be
when you have yeah, because we've seen O-line injury. I mean, you've seen the leg braces they wear. They're injury cautious, and it's good like you said, to have some depth there. I do not think this will be an issue at all. I think if anything, they'll be road graders. And I like that you brought up Oregon, Cory, because that Pac-12 can bring a different type of blitzers, smaller players that sometimes, speed rush and twist and stunt. And
Oregon switching to a 3-4 is going to create some. It can create some problems.
Do you remember the Rose Bowl against USC where it gave like Billy Price and the guys some trouble? That Billy Price can toss a linebacker around one hand, but the speed and just not used to seeing that kind of
formation. Yeah.
You're right, coming at them. It will be very good to have a solid anchor week 2. And on the road, or excuse me, at home, but certainly week 2 against a good opponent. Cory, let's talk about right off the O-line, right? Blocking / receiving threats, tight end. You have one of the best in the country, and maybe the biggest the biggest pass catching weapon, probably ever at Ohio State, at least in recent history. I can't think of a guy that I would think, I think, maybe Jake Stoneburner, if he's at a tight end school, could get used a little more, things like that. But this Jeremy Ruckert, such a stud, such a pass catcher, and obviously he's developing his blocking skills. This is going to be a really good year, I believe, for the tight end position at Ohio State.
Yeah, the only problem is it's top heavy. We can't possibly afford an injury there. But Jeremy Ruckert, look, we expect big things out of him this year. He's probably he has the potential. I'm not saying it's going to definite in stone because we don't use a tight end very often, but he has the potential to go down as the greatest tight end in Ohio State history. I mean, it's very possible. The last one I can remember that was really that darn good was Ricky Dudley.
I think. And
Ben Hartsock was dependable. He has 33 catches in his senior year. I get it. But, I mean, I'm talking about a pure talented guy who can go out
as
and
a
make
pass
big
catcher.
Yeah, make big plays for you. Ricky Dudley was a first-round draft pick, by the way, out of Ohio State. So I think Rucker can do the same thing. I think he'd be a late first-round draft pick for somebody if he has a really good, strong year. But then you got number 2 at Cade Stover, who actually looked really good in camp. And I'm so happy to hear it. I mean, the guy made a transition from defensive end to tight end, and he's the kind of guy that coming off as a young farmer, he just knows how to go to work and get it done.
Shout out to all the rural Ohio farmers. I talked to him briefly online at one point about that. He and I both baled hay in summer jobs. I think probably more in a summer job for him growing up on a farm. For me, growing up in rural Ohio, some nice, tough farm work in the summers. But you see that work ethic, right? Putting to work and switching position. You remember when that announcement was made?
We were all confused by it. Yep.
I was like, one of the maybe like a huge linebacker prospect. The kid had like 132 tackles one game. You remember that? And it's like, oh, he's really good. He's going to play tight end. What? But it looks like it's working. It seems to work. We absolutely go too deep with tight ends, right? So I think
sometimes 3 deep. Houseman got to play a lot too as a blocker. But the problem is we don't really have that this year. Sam Hart and Joe Roy are not really ready yet, from what I can tell. G. Scott Jr. is not going to be that guy who can come in and just block off the edge a little bit. Everybody expects him to be that hybrid tight end type, but he's still got work to do. If he gets any reps at tight end this year outside of a blowout, I'd be kind of shocked.
You just can't at 200.
He's 218 or whatever he is.
Luckily, maybe 224. You're still not running out and smacking a defensive end
or a linebacker. It's like, unless you're Evan Spencer, who's the exception that proves the rule there.
He could maybe block a walkout, but to go block a D end, not
to catch him in a stunt. I don't think. But I agree with you. But we're top heavy there. It's just knock on wood, no injury here. We're knocking on some wood for no injuries there. So,
but top heavy, but brightest upside and offensive football in Ohio State, maybe history, like you said, to complement this passing attack that looks to be, let's just say, silly with talent. Cory, Chris Olave last year, the guy can do intermediate stuff, really excels taking the top off the defense. He's so fast. And for, as most lists have him as like the top returner, and then Garrett Wilson not far behind. Cory, I think you agree with me. I'm not so sure. Actually, I'm kind of sure that Garrett Wilson is actually the supreme talent all around. He's not the burner Olave is. This guy can do it all. He has great hands, great agility. He's not a 4-3 guy. However, the vertical leap is stupid. The twisting and contorting and tracking of the ball. He's Devin Smith and ball tracking, and with Terry Glenn and route running and the agility of a KJ Hill. This guy can the vertical leap of, I don't know, a football player with one, Vince Carter. This is just the complete package. The guy when he runs a route, it looks like a robot.
It looks like a simulation.
It does.
I'm with you. Just saying. I think Garrett this year kind of surpasses Olave. That's not a knock on Olave. Olave is exceptional. He's going to go down as one of the best receivers of all time in Ohio State history. This might be the best duo of all time in Ohio State history. And then you got number 3 there, Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's already really good. He's on just kind of, apparently, according to spring ball in camp, he's just on the ascension to being another Olave Wilson type. And Johnny, get this: who's your next 3? Julian Fleming, number 1 receiver in the country coming out of high school. Emeka Ibuka, number 1 receiver in the country coming out of high school. Marvin Harrison, son of a Hall of Famer, criminally underrated, who's already got a grown adult body at 18 and runs great routes. That's your top 6 most likely.
That's silly. Like, it's not a foot. Run the air raid. The air raid, right?
Go Oklahoma State, like you said, Mike Gundy.
Yeah, run the oop-de-oop. Bud Kilmer, like John Moxon. It reminds me of 2000. I'm all about smash mouth football, because when you play too finessey, just too much can go wrong. Even in today's passing attack, incompletions drop, missed block.
You don't control the game quite as much.
You don't control the game.
Yeah.
Defense, if they know it's coming, if they know you're not going to run, it seems like they can really mess with you. But it got to a point with Dwayne Haskins in 2018. I said, I don't care. Don't run the ball. We're not any good at it. Dwayne Haskins was a cyborg at throwing the football. I can almost see being this year because of this embarrassment of talent. The second three you named with Jeremy Ruckert there, I'm thinking, oh, that's a 40-point-a-game offense. With the second group, that is insane to me. But, Cory, I don't think you can air raid it in good conscience because
I don't think Ryan Day ever will be an air raid guy, to be honest.
Well, just because in good conscience, you have a really good O-line blocking for some running backs who may not be, we may not have. I'm not going to be like Hassan Haskins, say we got the best running back room in the country, but it's a good running back room.
It's a solid running back room.
There's
a lot of talent there.
It is. Young talent, seniority who isn't as talented as the younger backs, but still solid enough to do damage all across the Big Ten. And you got guys in between. You have depth. I don't want to say it's injury proof, but it's a deep running back room. And you have a combination of styles, right? You have agility in the young buck and Trey Henderson and a lot of speed and wiggle. And you have, a power and wiggle hybrid with Mayan Williams. And then you have your steady bowling ball, who can break loose if you carve him a lane, and Master Teague, great goal line type of back, and a plow ahead guy, and great in pass protection and great in seniority. So it seems very balanced. What one guy may lack, he makes up for with seniority or something else. What the other guy doesn't have in seniority, he makes up with just talent and athleticism.
Yeah, and you got Marcus Crowley there, who without injuries would have probably been starting. I mean, he just set him back. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year in Florida, and yet he's a 3-star.
Carry, I think.
He was telling reporters, "Hey, watch this 80-yard run I'm about to have," and he'd go pop one off for 80 yards and go for a touchdown. I mean, guy's very talented. He had a good spring. I don't know what he's doing in fall camp yet, but he had a good spring. And Mayan Williams has been I love his story about being an underdog, complete underdog for an Ohio State recruiter. We were all kind of disappointed that we got him, not because we don't like him, but because it was supposed to be Bijan Robinson, who is a miss. Don't get me wrong, but that's not on Tony, because if you know the story behind that, that's not on Tony. And this also speaks to Tony's development. Got a guy that nobody thought would ever even play at Ohio State. And he looks like he could be starting the first few days out of camp. He's actually taken number 1 reps. And Master Teague, look, we all say the same thing. He's not quite as talented as these other guys, but you know what? His leadership, his steady eddiness, he can bring a calmness to the offense because he's got a really great purpose of mind, and he's a cerebral guy, is what I'm trying to say. So if you got a young quarterback in there, and you got a guy who is dependable as Master Teague is, and understanding pass protections and understanding where everybody's supposed to be on the offense from the vantage point of the backfield, it could help the quarterback calm down a little bit. I mean, so he might be starting, and even if you don't think he should be, there's a lot of intangibles there that could cause him to be the starter. So I'm not going to complain about anybody. And Master Teague, we've seen against Indiana, he can pop off and have a great game. So.
I think he last year he got the rock 20 times, only 2 games.
Yeah,
he had over 100 yards both times. In 2019, pre-injury, when we had quick hitting run game, he was a good bat. Like he hit the hole quicker. He doesn't have a lot of wiggle at the point of attack, but he had more early in 2019.
You just got to get him going north-south. It's just that's just a fact.
And then he becomes even more.
Well, he had 2 touchdowns against Bama in the title game. It ain't like he had a horrible game against Bama.
Right. So there's some talent there. There's some polishing needed done on some things.
Yeah.
At the level that we're used to seeing at Ohio State.
Grant, there's only, and you could say on this current roster of Tote Nation, there's one Zeke, JK, Eddie George type, and that's Trey Henderson.
Yeah, who has he's just potential. Too young. He's too young. He's not going to start guys. And for those of you saying, well, he'll start by Penn State. No, he won't. Barring injury, no, he won't.
He might get more reps as the year goes on, but I don't think he's going to start.
Yeah. And that's, again, I'm fine with either Teague or Williams. If Williams starts, it means he leapfrogged a guy, and we don't leapfrog at Ohio State, which means Mayan broke the rules, which means he must be really dang good. And if Teague starts, it means he could hold off these other guys who are really good. So I'm happy. I'm happy either way.
We got so much talent. It's one of those few years where we're like, I don't care who really starts because I know there's going to be somebody good on there. There's a reason those guys are starting because our depth is so great.
Yeah, I absolutely.
I'm talking about any position, by the way, unless it's like Stover over Ruckert. like, what are you doing? But other than that,
Yeah, no, I think everybody's got that understood. Well, Cory, there's a nice little 30,000-foot view snapshot of the offense. Again, it looks to be, top fuel drag car. All systems go for Ohio State. Anything under last question for the audience, Cory, is anything under 40 points a game an abject failure for this offense?
There's going to be some games, maybe Oregon, you don't quite get 40. So let's just, this team, on the average, they need to be averaging 42, 43 a game though this year.
Easily. Yeah, this is too much firepower out there. I would know a thing or two about firepower. Anyways, we got to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. We'll probably have to do this for the defense. As always, goodbye. God bless, and go Bucks.